5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Hey guys, welcome back to the HVAC Uncensored podcast. This podcast is brought to you by Yellow Jacket. 70 years of expertise built into every tool. If you guys are looking for quality products for a quality price, a company that's been around, they've been an innovator in this industry for as long as I can remember. They've done all of their manufacturing in the United States. They haven't cheaped it out and tried to outsource it. It's all made here in the good old US of A. So if you guys are looking for a new manifold set, a new vacuum pump, anything you're looking for, go check out www.yellowjacket.com or also Ritchie Engineering and give their products a look. So remember, Yellow Jacket, 70 years of expertise built into every tool.
I pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands.
One nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. God bless the USA, and thank you to all of our global listeners.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the main event. Let's get ready to rumble!
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the HVAC Uncensored podcast, episode 50-something. I'm not sure what episode we're on anymore, but I'm excited to be here. A great show tonight. We really think you guys are really going to like this. I know me and Kelly are both excited for it. But as always, I'm sitting across my brother from another mother, Mr. Kelly McKay. What's up, buddy?
Oh, man, I'm really excited. So tonight, as a special guest, we've got Mr. Tommy Mello. He's the owner and operator of A1 Garage Door Service. He's the host of the Home Service Expert podcast, and he's the owner, partner, or investor in 14 other businesses, ranging from Christmas lights to real estate to mobile apps. So without further ado, I want to jump right into this because I got lots of questions to ask Tommy. So ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Tommy Mello.
Hey guys, appreciate being on here. Super excited. Should be get some good stuff here.
Yeah, for sure. Like we said, man, thank you so much for being here. We know that this a busy man doing all the things that you do, so taking the time to be with us, little lonely HVAC Uncensored, man, we really appreciate it.
Glad to be here.
So I guess I know you're excited, Kel. If you want to go in and start firing away at Mr. Tommy, go ahead.
Sure. So Tommy, I know, because I followed you for a little while now, and I've seen and man, I know you got big plans, and I follow you on Facebook, so I'm seeing this new facility opening and stuff. So things have to be looking drastically different than what they did in the beginning. So you can tell us a little bit, what's changed from the beginning of the business to, 2019.
Oh man, well, technology for the most part is how we run the business. We didn't have a service titan or a CRM back then, so that's very different. We've got every truck's the same now. Every service truck and every installer truck's the same. We run our business on information called key performance indicators, where before I used to get a good feeling, and sometimes it wasn't the best feeling. And I can tell you that my stepdad is retiring this next year. He came on board with me in 2010. I mean, this next month. So he's been a big part of the company, but he kind of, I don't want to say we outgrew him. I wanted to say that he didn't really want to see our vision of, he figured 10 million was cool. Why do you need to be 500 million? And I don't necessarily have the answer, but, you know, I just have a vision, and I always say with big power comes big responsibility. It's kind of like Peter Parker. So,
yeah.
That's awesome. Well, explain to the listeners, if that's okay, the importance of the KPIs, because I know a lot of people ask us, like, what is it? What, you know, why do I need to do this? You know, what makes that so powerful?
So for people out there, it's just a fancy name of saying a metric that we use to judge the business. And you don't know what to work on if you're not really taking these key performance indicators. Now, when I sit down, and like I told you guys earlier, I whiteboard a lot. So every single department has about 5. Anything more than 5 starts getting pretty willy-nilly. I would say if you mastered the 5, and 5 for a technician is what's your conversion rate? How many service agreements? How long do you take on the average job? What's your average ticket? I like to add on there, how many reviews are you getting, which is a fancy way of customer service and creating raving fans. So if you have a bad conversion rate, your average ticket's going to go down. And then you measure these for service and door sales, which in your guys' case would be service versus new HVAC units. And those are how I make my decisions on who gets the first jobs. It's their ratings. I'm looking at it right now. I have every one of them. Here's something that's really important is rate your jobs 1 out of 5, priority 1 through 5. Then rate your technicians 1 through whatever. I've got 100 and something. I want you guys to make sure those top guys, just like Tom Brady gets to throw the ball in the Super Bowl, want to make sure those top guys get the lowest priority, the priority 1 jobs. Number 1 guy, priority 1. If they're already full with priority 1, then the number 2 guy. And that's how you do it. That's just fair because they've outperformed everybody. And it's depending on your performance, but those lead me to decisions. I don't need to go off of a whim anymore.
No, that makes a lot of sense. And to be honest, I used to do things like that, like it made sense. And then people are like, "Yeah, do you do KPIs?" I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not sure what that is. And then when they start to explain it, I'm like, yeah, well, I guess I kind of do that. And it's grown where I've started to actually, like you said, we have whiteboards. We keep track of, you know, all of their sales generated through actual sales of equipment, their invoice totals, service agreement sold. And I want them to see those numbers. I want it to be a competition. I want them to compete against each other. It incites that fire inside of them. And I make sure that they know it. And if somebody does really good job when they come in, hey man, did you see what DJ did? Hey, did you see that sale he just made? I try to use it to kind of fuel the fire. And that has definitely helped us grow. Like I said, for us, this year we're going to be, I think, like a little under 7 million. And for us, that is huge. Cause 12 years ago if we did over $1 million, we thought we were king dingling. So, it's really, really worked making some of those little changes.
We're just barely, like, we're shooting for 1.8 this year. But so I got a question that might be off the map just a little bit. So if you don't feel comfortable answering it, but I'm sure there was a time, Tommy, where you went back and you were like doing 2 million, 3 million, 5 million. But was there ever a time where, like, all of a sudden it's like, boom, you just grew 3 million in 1 year? Did you have any years of growth like that? Or, I mean, and you might
last year we went from 17 to 28.
Wow.
The way that happens is we got more systematized. And I'll tell you that sometimes it's all about filling your voids. So I'm not the best at day-to-day operations. I'm really freaking good at recruiting, sales, and marketing. I had enough jobs for the last 5 years where I have more jobs than I could handle. I would consider my forte marketing over everything, and sales. I've been grown up with sales and I sell myself every day. But the problem is with these KPIs that I judge myself off of and I judge the company, is a lot of people say they have them, but they don't know their honest booking rate. They really don't. They say, yeah, I'm working on it. It spits out some numbers, but can you really trust those numbers? Because I've done some consulting, and I always tell people, I can't fix what you don't know that's broken. And if I increased your closing ratio by 10%, your booking rate by 10%, reduced your marketing cost, which is your acquisition cost, by 10%, I can double your company. I can bring you from 1.2 to 1.4, whatever it is, to 2.8 overnight by knowing those numbers and being able to fix what you don't know is broken and you really probably don't know. And that's why you'll see $100 million companies that are able to go to 200 million a lot faster than most companies could grow out of that 1 to 2 to 3 million. 7 million is a number that's really, really good, but you're going to hit your highs and lows. And when you're low, it means you got to make a big change. But you got to hire different people. You got to set up new systems. You need to develop new strategies, checklists, and standard operating procedures.
That's so funny that he said that.
Yeah.
What do I always say? Like, I am so big on procedures that I want my company to be like McDonald's, that no matter what technician comes out, they're getting the same service. They look the same. They're dressed the same and the same. I'm not as close to you as far as everybody being in the same trucks. We're upgrading trucks. I mean, that's the point at some point. But yeah, I mean, when they go out to do calls, I have checklists. I want everybody doing the same procedure every time just to try to get this kind of to be in a rhythm. And I kind of do that with every aspect, every little thing. And the guys they get annoyed by it, but I'm like, guys, this is for a bigger purpose. Trust me. When we start to kind of beat this in and it becomes second nature, I think it's really, really going to help. And eventually I want to do the plumbing and electrical and stuff like that, but I'm not going to be able to do that until I actually take over completely, because I don't own the company. I'm just like the second in command, like operations, general manager kind of deal. So until that happens, I won't be able to do what I fully want.
Let me just add one thing to what we're talking about here, because what I found at the size I'm at with the $30-40 million range, will be close to 40. You're not going to be able to change the old timers that have been here. And those guys are the bread and butter who've made my company possible.
Right.
What you need the people to do, your field supervisors need to agree and promise to train the guys in a certain way. So we're training up a whole training center. We're setting up. I've got manuals. I've got a learning management system to teach these people exactly what to say, do, hear, exactly how they say. You don't bring up a service agreement till it's time to pay, and you say something like this. Do you want to pay the full price, or do you want to pay our membership fee, our membership discount price?
Mm-hmm.
Shoot, I guess I want to pay the cheaper price. Okay, well, let's get you signed up for the membership. It's a free tune-up every year. On the third year, we come do this. On the fourth year, we do this. It's only $10 a month. Well, our guys that they don't believe in the same ways, and I'm not to teach an old dog new tricks, but here's the deal. They agree to this, and you got to start somewhere. Like McDonald's didn't always come with the same system. So start that way, put it in a process, and make sure. Most guys do this, and tell me if I'm wrong, and you guys tell me. You're going to go drive with my best guy for a week, and then I want you to drive with this other guy. This other guy's better at repair. This guy's better at selling memberships. This guy's better at selling new units. Good luck.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sound familiar?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Hey, I was there, and we still have our moments. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, that's why now I have started. Like, I'll take the time to ride around with the person, and I know that's not always going to be able to be possible, but I do it so that I'm with the person. I know sometimes it's a little intimidating for that person, when they have their boss riding around with them. But I mean, I'm pretty laid back and lenient, but I try to teach them from day one what we're trying to do here, that you're either going to, fit in, fall in line, or, hey, maybe you're a good guy, you're a great tech, but this isn't the place for you kind of deal. So I try to nip that in the butt so I don't wait 3 months. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Cal.
Oh, I was just going to say that it used to be like tribal knowledge. Like everybody knew how I liked the calls to be ran because I actually ran calls with them and I did sales with them. And, but then as the company has grown and I've added more people, these new people don't know that. And it's like, now I'm, you know, it's like that game where you like whisper to somebody's ear, and by the time it gets to the end of the table, it's something completely different, you know, and that's what the businesses happen. So like, I think we're doing the right things, and appreciate you answering that question, because just last week we've got several checklists, but not like right on the actual service call checklist. So we just rolled that out last week, and now it's just making sure everybody's doing it, hold people accountable, and hopefully this is a game changer for us. So
yeah, instead of whispering in their ear, get a bullhorn, Kelly.
Right.
Well, Kelly, checklists are great, right? And I've created, you could read all my documents, and here's the deal.
Right.
How you going to know? This is my favorite word. It's the word of the year. Accountability. Inspect what you expect. Accountability. How are you going to make sure? Because when you create a new system, how can you make sure that system gets implemented and there's checks and balances around it? Because if you teach them for 2 weeks, they go, F this, I'm out of here.
Right.
They don't quit, but they don't use your new system. So how are you going to make sure those checklists are done? I have a whole data integrity team. I got 2 people still here right now.
So right now I just have one main manager that is looking at every single invoice, and I don't have Service Titan. I know you guys use Service Titan, but it is on every invoice. So they're to go through that and enter the information on every checklist, you know, everything on the checklist. They're supposed to be, you know, rating each thing, you know, whether it's okay, kind of like what you get from some of the car dealerships. Like,
well, it's red, yellow, or green, right?
Exactly.
Green means it's good. Yellow means let's look at this, but maybe you can get away. Red means we need to get this done right now. Why aren't you on Service Titan, or why aren't you on a CRM?
I'm on House Call Pro.
Okay, fair enough. And why aren't you? Service Titan is too expensive, huh?
So I was on Service Titan actually last year, and I was on it for a little over a year, and I just wasn't utilizing it, and I didn't have anybody in my office to just get in there and own it.
That makes sense. You were driving a Ferrari in first gear.
Yes. So everything that House Call Pro does, that's all I was doing in Service Titan.
Fair enough.
So
I have a great guy that sits right over there that handles that. Amazing, and he's intricate piece of the business. And if I didn't have him, this company would not be able to grow, because he helps with the day-to-day, and he's number 5. He's the best there is at service. So
he's like your integrator kind of.
Yeah, I'm the visionary, that's for sure.
That's right.
Well, to be honest, you're gonna laugh when I tell you. We're actually, and Kelly keeps getting on me, and I'm trying to push it. We're still doing paper, man. We're still doing paper tickets, and I've been pushing for an automated service and tablets, pushing, and I can't push anymore. But
well, you got to show whoever it is, and say, listen, have him call me. I'm not going to make any money off of it. I could give 2 craps about that, but I can tell you this. If you can increase these key KPIs, but you show the math, and you go to the last 10 companies at 7 million, go to Service Titan, and they'll tell you if they're implementing the things that they tell you to do, and they get a score from Service Titan. I wouldn't believe in it so much if I didn't think it was such an intricate part of my business. People say, "Oh my God, it's 200 or 300, whatever it is per user." Oh my God, I spent $8,000 this month. I go, oh my God, that means you sold 1 extra unit for the month to pay for your entire operations of your business. 1 extra good unit. And you're not going to do it? If you book 1 more call a day, and maybe you come up with 10 more units, that pays for it for the year. It just bothers me. But it just bothers me, because if you want to take your company forward and sleep at night and know what's going on within your business and expect what you expect and see the problems within the company, you need a really good, sophisticated system. And there's nothing better than Service Titan. And I have a lot of leverage with them because we were the first garage door company on it. But I want to hear, sorry to cut you off, but I get frustrated.
No, I know. That's why I said I told you. Yeah, and I agree. And I'm surprised that we've been able to get to where we are doing what we're doing. Quite frankly, but for us to really go to the next level, we have to do that. We have to move them with the times. I think we're missing so many things, and I love analytics. I've always been like, even being little sports, I'm writing down like, oh, the attempts, the yards, I just always like numbers. And it makes me harder to do things that should be easy, and I can focus on other aspects when I got to sit there and try to do the math and figure these numbers out and go through sheets when there's a service that's going to do all that for me and give me the answers that I need, rather than me wasting time that could be spent on something else. So I am hoping that before the end of the year, we're going to do something, if I have to just do it and deal with the consequences. And then he can just thank me later, because that's what's going to happen. And I know that when it happens and he sees it, he might be like, oh, what'd you do? Blah, blah, blah. And then when I'm like, oh, well, look, this, and this, that I know that he's going to be down.
You don't even know where to start from. That's the bad thing, is you can't tell him you increased until the only thing he's going to see is revenue and profit. But when you could start with a number and say we increased by this much, now you're going to get your worst month ever, because everybody's going to go, this is the problem with not being on any software. Now they got to carry an iPad, and people are going to go, okay, I don't know how to use this thing. Or they could use a Droid or whatever. And the longer you wait to do that is the worse it is. It's like, if you got to make a change, find something that's going to work for the next 20 years. And I can tell you this, ServiceTitan is not good enough for me. I'm investing right now 6 figures into a system on top of ServiceTitan that ServiceTitan pulls from its database, and now it gives me graphs for everything that sit around. So I know the guy that sells more, for your sake, blower motors than this other guy, and then I could team them together. I know the guy that finishes a spring job 10 minutes faster, so they can work together, because there's really 3 things. There's sales, operations, and technical. If you can increase those every single week with every one of your guys and make it a competition and gamify it, you're going to murder it. But the big thing is recruiting the right people to begin with. I don't get old technicians. I make them now. And the only thing I'll ever do, unless someone moves here that wows me, is I'll only make technicians. Forget going out there and saying I only need somebody experienced, because that's the last thing I want to do now. I go a million miles an hour. I go, my brain, I'm sorry.
No, you're good, man. Love it.
I'm glad you said that, because we wanted to talk to you without giving away your secrets. What is your recruiting process? Like, what has been successful for you in building your brand, building your business as far as recruiting?
Okay. So first of all, we'll talk about KPI. So first of all, I want to know how much we're posting in a day. I want to know where we're posting. So let's talk about this for a minute. There's a lot of job boards out there. Craigslist, Career Builder, Monster. I could keep going. I like to be everywhere. I like to know the frequency of posting. I just hired a full-time recruiter. I not only want to know how many times we posted a day, but I like to post in different sections. I post in used car salesman. I post everywhere. I like to find people that are coming from a bus boy or washing dishes, or because I like the young, willing, and able. They haven't been burned. They got a clean, non-jaded mentality. Mm-hmm. Then I've got their manuals, and they could start out as an apprentice. Then they come up to a junior tech, regular tech, senior tech, field supervisor. So what's cool about this program is they learn a lot as they're going through the process, but they got to earn their way through the process built on KPIs. Now, here's a couple secrets. You want to find the most competitive SOBs out there. There's some people that need to be first. There's some people that hate to be last. So I like to find athletes, especially kids that are college or high school, that they played on the hockey team, the soccer team, the football team, the wrestling team. So I contacted a lot of coaches. When I was just back in Michigan looking for guys, I called 3 of my old coaches. I called the basketball, the wrestling, and the football coach. And I said, hey, do you got any good guys, younger guys that are hungry that you still contact? They gave me a bunch of guys. It was easy because these guys come in and they're like, dude, and he vouched for them. So think about that. Getting these young, I hate to say, look, I've got a lot of great 40-some-odd-year-olds or 50-year-olds, but this whole industry, if you're going to keep hiring 60-year-olds, you got a few years of a good business. If you hire a 20-year-old, you probably got 10, 20, 30 years of solid guy that'll come in. And I would love to hire a woman. I just haven't had the opportunity yet because I haven't had any apply. So I'm not a chauvinist big. But that's the first thing. And then write your ads differently. These freaking ads suck. Yeah. Must be, required, drug test, background, clean driving, da-da-da-da-da. I write my ad like this. I put WIFMT, what's in it for them. And then I write down everything we offer. I write down our benefits, our PTO, that we've got an employee of the month, our employee newsletter. I give them a link to. I say, we're going to build you up. This is a career, not a job. You're going to have an amazing opportunity to move up in a growing company. Here's the thing. We offer breakfast on this day. We're going to give you this on this day. We do company outings once a month. We'll fly you to this trip if you hit this. Oh my God. Everybody loves everybody. Do a walkthrough, do a ride along. Oh, by the way, I forgot to tell you, we do garage doors. Watch, fill this huge net up of people instead of saying, oh, I only want this person. Fill the whole net up and then tell them, hey, look, let me just tell you, have them show up, meet them in person. Don't go off of, forget resumes. That's the most dumb thing in the world. This is a blue-collar industry. You think there's going to have, unless they send a resume and it's like 8 jobs in the last 2 months, I don't care about their resume. So what are you going to get? What do you think McDonald's looks at when they hire a 15-year-old? What, that used to mow lawns and shovel poop? No, you find out from the people. You get to meet them, and hopefully they're cool people. And you hire on personality and an aspiration to be number one and competitiveness. It's so easy. You hire great people and you teach them a skill. You don't hire skilled people and teach them to be good people, because that just doesn't work.
No, it doesn't. I've tried many times.
And I don't want to shovel shit anymore either. Go ahead.
Oh, I love the fact, because this is kind of what I've had a really tough time, like finding, that's like the ongoing talk of the HVAC trade is just can't find good people. Well, I know that there's good people out there. They don't necessarily, they're not necessarily doing heating, air conditioning. I have definitely learned that. But I love what you said about just the steps and having manuals for each step, and they have to pass certain KPIs. Are their pay grades correlated with that? Like, do you have like,
absolutely.
Yeah.
You got to think. We pay off of performance pay. I had a guy come in here earlier, amazing guy. He's probably in his 70s, and he took over the car repo business. He's the largest company in North America, and he retired 13 years ago. And he said, what if you had to give me one secret about how everybody's here working their butts off, what is it? I said, every person here is on a pay for performance, from the call center person to the data integrity to the recruiter. So the recruiter actually makes money. They make a little base, and they make their money based on the success of the technician for the first 3 months. And they can make up to $1,000 per tech, which doesn't sound like a lot of money unless you're recruiting 20 techs a month. Then guess what? Holy shit, I'm making 20 grand a month. Now think about this. 20 grand this month, but by month 3, you're making 60 grand a month if you're hiring 20 techs. 20 on this group, month 2, now you're making 20 and 20. Month 3, now listen, I don't know if I'm ready to hire 60 guys, but that's what we're working up to. We're creating a system that they arrive. Here's your shirts. Here's your iPad. There's your truck. Here's your tool set. We're going to take you to your apartment. There's a checklist because we own a 19-plex. We're going to make sure you leave this like we plan on you leaving your truck. So we're going to do a weekly walkthrough of your apartment. By the way, you're going out with the owner and the manager on this date. They got a baseball ticket for you this date. We want you to enjoy your time here. We already bought a ticket for week number 2 that weekend. We're bringing your wife out here. She's going to come hang out with you. We plan a trip for that too. Meet their wife, because guess what? If they're angry at home, how the hell are they supposed to be happy at your business? Right. And they shouldn't make it through training. They should never make it through training if they suck. Say, oh, he's trained long enough. And my guys make money 5 ways. They do recruiting. They can make $2,000 if they get a lead that comes through their cell phone number, because we've got 3,900 call tracking numbers. Each of them have their own call tracking number. If a job gets ran that's over $100 from their cell phone, from the phone number that's tracked to our call center, they get $50. They get money for reviews, where I got to split into 3 systems. They get money for the commission on the job, and they get money, and I don't like that word commission because it's a little bit different for us. and then they get money for their service agreements on the annual renewal. They make an extra $10. But there are 5 ways they make money. And then they get, I mean, we do a lot for our people. But I'll tell you what, the best people do, and they still make 20%. You take care of your internal customers, they'll take care of your external customers.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. People, I know the customer is important, but you know, your employees are the most important. Without them, then you're not taking care of your customers. And I feel like some people, customer service, which I understand we have to have it. I get that that's a necessity, but we need to be treating our people just as well so that, you know, they're happy to be here. Like you said, they come to work, they're happy. It's a good atmosphere. It's not that guy that's got to drag himself into work. It just makes a better atmosphere. And you can tell when I see some of these big businesses and you look at the people, you can see like they kind of give off like an aura or whatever you want to call it about how they work. And you can just see why their people are there. They're there for a long time because they're being paid well and all the benefits and all the other things that they're getting. And I'm not there. I'm far from there yet, but I think I've created a good atmosphere as far as what we have. And I have done the whole hiring young guys and train them. It's been very frustrating, you know, with some of the callbacks and things like that, but I'm just kind of take it with a grain of salt. And like I said, I'm okay with mistakes as long as you're not making the same mistakes. And once again, still very frustrating, but it's been working. I think it's gonna go good in the long run.
Let me tell you something about that. Is you need a field supervisor that runs 4 days a week in the field. The 5th day he goes with his 5 technicians and picks one the switches the week. Sometimes they work in our place that we teach them how to do everything. Sometimes they go out and do ride-alongs. But the one reason you'll fail with expansion is leadership. Nobody should have more than 5 or 6 direct reports. So that means if you're managing 20 guys, you're set up for failure. You need 4 field supervisors to manage those 20. You work really hard with those 4 field supervisors, and they're out in the field still making you money on those other 4 days. It's the ultimate advantage. But to give somebody and say, I want you to work with these 20 guys, you're like, shit, you turn into a firefighter. And I'll tell you what, there's a lot of firefighters that used to work for me. When you prevent those fires from starting is when you start growing.
Yeah, that's what I just told Kelly yesterday. We were talking. I said, I feel like I'm a fireman. All I do is put out fires.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
Until you create it's expensive, but you find you'll never get to the size if you can't learn to put out these fires. And it happens from time to time, but our guys, man, I'll tell my field supervisor, you need to work with this guy because he's getting callbacks and we know exactly what's happening. Is it technical, operational? Operationals, that means we got to call because something stupid like the safety eye wasn't adjusted correctly and he didn't go over that with the customer to explain that to them that it's a service call. It's so simple. I want to tell you guys a quick stat. 84% of employees in the United States are unhappy with their current. They're ready to leave within the next year. That's in every industry, including white collar, blue collar. And that right now is the first time in history ever that there's more people, that there's more companies searching for employees than people ready to apply from employees. So what does that tell me? I got to go out and find them from somewhere else. They're not going to be in the unemployment line. I need to get them to switch over because they're working up from another company. So posting a $35 ad on Craigslist when my company's doing $7 million a year is not enough to get great employees. And I also ask every one of my customers, they get an email that says, hey, by the way, we really appreciate you. It's a letter from the owner. We're always looking for amazing people. We've got a career path to make them good money. We also value our employees. That's why they stick around. That's why when you call back in 5 years, you could have the same technician that you just had. Our attrition rate is the lowest in the industry. They go to the A1 School of Excellence. So we're talking ourselves up, confirming that they still love us, talking about a few other things, and saying, by the way, if you know anybody, send them our way. We'll even give you a referral fee.
That's awesome. That's good. Yeah, I'll let you go, Kelly, but I know we had talked about recruiting and how to do that. I'm going to forget the guy's name. that we talked to, Kelly?
Aaron, Paul, what's his name? It's Aaron something. It doesn't matter.
It's bad. But he talked about that's what he does. It was and I had it all written up here. I'm sorry if you're listening, buddy, that I'm forgetting his name. But that's what is it?
Is it Patrick, Aaron, or
Patrick Long or something like that, where he does it's some kind of recruiting service. I forget the name of it, but he brought up a lot of good points when he just said about how you recruit and how you said it's like you need to make it about them. Why do they want to come to you? Why do they want to come work here? Not like you said, blah, 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 blah. And they're just like swiping through. And then when he did it, where he took both of our cities and he boiled it down to like how many people that you think are actually in the trade looking for jobs. He's like, it's not a big amount. He's like, so you're kind of shrinking yourself down when you're doing that. So when you have to like kind of bring in new people and try to train them up, excuse me. And then we just talked to our buddy Tersh Blissett, who has been making a killing with his new company. And he's really not hiring anybody that has any trade experience. He said a lot of these guys don't know what a TXV and don't know what this is. So if I got to teach them how to do it, I might as well teach somebody that's new, that's hungry, that's got the kind of personality and attitude that I want, and teach them from scratch. So it's just awesome how that works, and just hearing other people is just kind of justifying it, seeing how it goes.
It takes some time, and you got to be the right size, but the average plumber is 48 years old. I mean, the deal is, it's tough because plumbers sometimes need to be journeyman. It takes 5 years as an apprentice, and there's different things. But I'm lucky because I could build a technician. I get you in for a ride along. I ask them 14 questions. I ask the ride along person, how often do they smoke cigarettes? If they're smoking like a chimney, they're going to smell like crap with my customers. I ask them, how much were they on their cell phones? Did they ask the customer good questions? Are they a morning or night person? When are they available to take their drug tests? Can they come to Arizona and train for a month? I mean, it goes on, but that's just the first day ride along. Then they got to go 3 weeks in that market. Then they got to fly out here for a month. Then in 90 days after I set them loose, I have a trainer go out and work with them for another week. And then you'll get an experienced guy. But think about that. There's 7 weeks plus 90 days. So that's, what is that? Another 12. So that's 19 weeks. That's less than half a year. And I've got a senior technician that's amazing, that can do anything, that's making customers happy. You find me an A-plus player that does it your way exactly, knows everything, great with customers, good looking in front of a customer, smells good, personal hygiene, represents your company well, and build that guy in 19 weeks. That's how you get it done.
Yeah, that's amazing.
That's awesome.
Absolutely amazing. You're just growing them. I mean, and so that's a big investment in somebody. So I'm sure if somebody is not making the cut in any way, shape, or form, you're not screwing around with those guys. You're probably just
3 PIPs, 3 performance improvement plans. You go 1 month long. If you're doing real bad, you're getting a ride along. I don't charge my guys. They can train as much as they want to get $150 a day. So if a guy's really bad, I force them into training. But if you got a will, I'll find you a way. But obviously, you shouldn't make it through my training if you can't make eye contact. So look at this: body posture, eye contact, tone of voice, and then a good smile. Because you're going to smile at my customers, and you're going to ask questions, and you're going to take notes, and you're just going to smile and say, "Oh, really? Oh my God, I am too." This is great. If you can do that, you're going to kill it. You are going to kill it for this company.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's awesome.
So the pay for performance, I've heard a lot more people switching to this. And were you ever timed like hourly before?
Oh yeah, we did hourly. Our call center was hourly at the beginning of the year. We switched over with 5 KPIs, but mostly the booking rate. And what we do is $11 or the bonus structures. A lot of people do, here's your minimum, and then you get bonused on top of this. The problem with that is the crappy people always make 13, 14, 15. See, I won't say crappy people. I'll just say the people that haven't been worked with enough, because I don't think we hire crappy people. That's just demeaning. But I would say that the worst experienced non-producers in the call center make $11. That's minimum wage here. And I don't want to incentivize them to stay. I want to incentivize them to grow or leave. I'll manage you this far to get up to here, but only so long. And then we got to, because we've given you every tool in the book. We teach you how to overcome that objection. We even got the next level. And one thing I always preach is smile on the phone. Oh, really?
Yeah.
And that's what I always say. You should hear me on the phone. I put on my phone voice and I go, this is funny. This lady said, Mary, brand new girl. She says, Tommy, I wish you were here. She goes, they already booked with somebody else. Or she goes, I didn't have a nighttime guy. I go, okay. So I call my Wichita guy. I go, Charles, can you run late tonight? He goes, yeah. She goes, well, we already lost the call. I said, what's her name? She says, Miss Smith or whatever. Hey, Miss Smith, this is Tommy Mello calling with A1 Garage Door Service. How's your night? She's like, oh, she's like, not so good. My spring's broken. And I go, oh, okay. I go, Tommy, is it not opening? And blah, 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 blah. She goes, yeah. She's like, Tommy, you're too late. I already got another company. I go, oh, that's fine. I completely understand. What's the name of the company? Wichita's Best, whatever it was.
Right.
And I said, oh, my gosh, great company. Great company. Do you mind if I ask you how much they're charging? And she goes, yeah, they're charging me this price, but they're charging me this extra nighttime fee. And I said, that's understandable. Obviously, the technician's probably got to leave his house and his family and his dinner table. What if I told you I got a guy 20 minutes from your house that's not leaving his dinner table, and you called us first and I can make that happen? And she goes, well, I already told you. What about this other company? I go, well, you already gave me your name. I'll call them and I'll cancel for you.
Yeah. And
she starts going, what? She starts laughing. She goes, you're so tenacious. She goes, you're so funny. She goes, and the whole call center is looking at me. And I said, ma'am, we really want to earn your business because we know that you're going to tell your friends, your neighbors, and our family, and that's how we've grown. And we really want to be your company. What can I do to earn your business? And she goes, you know what? She goes, Tommy, can you call back in 5 minutes? I call back in 5 minutes. She goes, Tommy, I just canceled them. When can you be here?
That's awesome.
I was like,
awesome.
But we do that, and I lead by example, and they see that, and they're like, dude, this guy's for real. He shows up every morning. He's here late. And I'm not saying you can't be an absentee. It's hard for people when you're absent all the time to look up to a leader, unless you got somebody that's there that could be that person for them.
Right.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's the performance pay is the way to go. And here's how you do it. You write on the board, what actions do you need from them to do well? So for me, I look for dispatchers. I look at how well did they do at dispatching my best people and reducing windshield time? How well did we do at not losing priority 1 or 2 jobs? Then I look at their average ticket for that, which happens easy through the system. But here's how they increase their average ticket. Is they put Tom Brady in the Super Bowl as much as possible. And that makes them work harder. And they want to reduce cancellations. So they understand on a mind map exactly what I need to be doing to make a lot of freaking money. And if I do my job right, my ticket average is great as a dispatcher.
So you're putting a ticket average on the dispatcher. That's brilliant.
Sales less materials, though. I don't ever look at we pull materials out of there. So we pull tax and materials out of there, and they get to see it. Look at, I don't hide my balance sheet. I don't hide my profitability. I don't hide our annual revenue. I don't care. As long as they understand there's something in it for them, they don't care either.
Right.
And if anybody ever looks at me and goes, damn, you're loaded, I go, you have no idea how much we invest in this company to make it what it is today. And even if I was loaded, you could be loaded too. That's the great thing about working for us as a company. And it is us. It's not me. It's a business, and there's a lot of leaders here. We have more leaders in this company. See, we don't manage people. We grow leaders here. We literally grow leaders.
Yeah, that's awesome. Christ, I don't even have a garage, and I want you to come put a garage door in. I think I want to come work for you, Tom.
Well, hey, the door's always open, man.
Yeah, I give it to you. You just by talking to you. I mean, this is the first time I really talked to you like this, and your positivity is definitely infectious. Your personality, so I give that to you. You can, I mean, you obviously don't get to where you are by not having certain, characteristics and attributes.
No, we feel your passion.
Yeah,
100%, man. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm kind of dragging tonight, so I'm sorry if I feel a little.
No. I'm a natural. I've been having some iced tea. You know what? I can't steal this, but I was at a little breakout session with Jack Tester, Jack Tester is the guy that he runs a company called Nexstar, and he's got his one-on-ones with his people. He's on a board, and he said we could take this. So now we built leaders by asking them, let me show you what this sheet is. I'm just going to read through it. And here's what they do. If you were my employee, Kelly, one of my direct reports, this is what you would fill out and hand to me, and you'd have a copy. What did you spend time with this week? What significant activities did you do? What observations, insights, or ideas do you have? 1 out of 10, what do you rate your performance this week? What's your rank, if there is a rank? What core values did you exercise or were challenged with this week? What did you do well this week? What can you improve on next week? What important decisions are you facing? What's keeping you from making it? What help or direction do you need? What key activities and priorities for next week? And then you've got 4 goals. But by giving them a voice, they actually have skin in the game, and they're reporting this to you. And this is how you build leadership. And all of them have their direct reports that they fill them out for them. It'll change your company overnight if you could actually, you got to put it in your calendar and don't not follow your calendar. Luckily, like I told you guys, the smartest thing I did was hire an assistant. But you need to have a calendar. You need to make time. And here's the deal. People go like, I don't have time for that. You don't have time for it because you're so unorganized. You're chasing your tail. You don't have anything on a calendar. Nothing's prioritized. And if you learn to prioritize and learn to work on this stuff and make time and make sure your people, I'm not a got-a-minute manager. You can't just walk in here because I might be on a podcast. You just don't interrupt me. You need time. You go see my assistant and make 15 minutes, and we'll make it happen. Can't promise you. If it's an absolute emergency, she'll get it in today.
Right. Man, it is storming so bad here. I keep waiting for my camera to just freeze up. It's I don't know what's happening out there. But it sounds nasty. I'm in Kansas. You were just talking about Wichita.
Yeah.
I'm right next to Wichita, so yeah, absolutely love that, man. The growing leaders. I'm going to go back and listen to this. I hope everyone's taking notes who's listening to this, because he's been dropping bombs the entire interview. But I love those questions. I'm going to implement that immediately. Like every week, I've got just 2 guys right now who are managing the team in the field, and I'm going to have them. I'm going to ask them that questions every week and have them fill that out, and we need to shift our mindset to that too. Grow leaders, So I love that. So I appreciate.
Here's
yeah.
So steps of delegation.
Yeah.
So you can look here. These are filled out. Here's what needs to get done. Here's why it needs to get done. Here's what you have available to get it done. Here's the priority assigned to getting this done. Here's when it needs to get done by. Here's a meeting that we're going to check up on your progress so you don't do Parkinson's law, which is wait till the last minute to do it. Here's what consequences there are if you don't get it done. Here's the cookie if you get it done. And here's the task. And then finally, what kind of feedback do we have? Manager and employee signature and date. It's called our steps of delegation. Al Levy helped me with these.
Okay.
He's a rock star. But really, people delegate. They dump instead of delegating. And you can't do that. And I'll give you an example. I went ahead and didn't delegate the paint getting painted in my new building here. Mm-hmm. And they paint the whole damn thing in flat instead of semi-gloss. I didn't think I would need to tell them to paint the building in semi-gloss, but sometimes my wit escapes me.
That's funny.
I'm not sure what time we started, so I don't want to go super long here. But I definitely want to ask you this question, which is, why grow to 1 million or 100 million? or 500 million? You said earlier, is that your number, at least right now, Tommy?
Well, we're doing a lot of things different to get to those numbers. What I think is we could help grow people, and then we could grow by acquisition. But I'll tell you this. If I felt like I was at the tip of where I'm like, man, things are going good and we're where we need to be, and the school's built, but we're not even close. I'm telling you, we're building leaders. The reason why is because if I was McDonald's and there was a bunch of single shop burgers everywhere, I know I could grow into the biggest shop in the world. And I truly believe we'll take over Canada, we'll take over Australia, and give me another English speaking, and shoot, I might even speak Spanish here in a little bit, but the opportunities there, it could happen in the next 5 years. And I'm not even kidding. I mean, there's no doubt that we will triple next year in size. There's no doubt. I mean, we've got it, the recruiter, the trainer, the sales process, the advertising that most people beg for leads. We have too many. Right now we have most of our campaigns turned off because we built the business that people refer us and they love us and they say, oh my God, those guys are so nice. They showed up on time. They text me on the way. The guy offered soda. Hey, let me ask you something. I'm on my way to your house right now. My name's Tommy, by the way. You probably got the text message. Listen, I'm stopping by 7-Eleven. If you could use a coffee, soda, anything for the kids, I might be able to grab you. No, that's nice. Instant building rapport before I even got there. I mean, there's a few things I think we do really, really well, but we're learning every day. I had Joe Cunningham in my office yesterday. I had a roofing company. It's called Five Guys Roofing. It's four brothers and their dad. They walk through. I always ask them, walk through. Let me know what you like. Let me know what you don't like. Any ideas? Let's have a conversation afterwards. My door is always open for people. I have people flying in from different cities. And I learn a lot. And then I go visit other companies all the time. I go visit $100 million shops. And I'm like, man, I'm not far from here. Actually, I'm better at some things, but man, I love that gold nugget. Geez, that was amazing. Oh my God, I can't wait to talk to my morning huddle and throw them that piece of advice.
Right.
It's funny you said that. Yeah, remember the guy I told you that I went to his class? Joe Cunningham. That's who it was.
Mm-hmm.
One in Dallas. It was Joe Cunningham's class.
He was here for 2 days.
Yeah, he's a cool dude.
Hey, he's a wealth of knowledge. Have you guys ever read this book, HVAC Spells Wealth?
Mm-hmm.
I'm having him out here too, Ron Smith. He's just a legend. I got to tell you, there's so many legends in the HVAC. HVAC is like 20 years above garage doors, so it's kind of fun to meet these guys that have done it, and they're kind of like trying to leave a legacy now. They want to give back. They're more than willing to answer questions. And then How to Win Friends and Influence People. If you don't have this book or listen to this book or really pay attention to this book, you need to, because your life will get a hell of a lot better.
I really like this book.
Ooh.
Hell yeah. It was really unique.
Hardcover.
Did it, man? Yeah, I don't have the hardcover. Got me. It was really unique the way you did it. I really liked it. I'm a huge fan of Ellen Rohr too. I just love her.
It was your birthday today.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, I see. I'm that organized that I know it's when people's birthday.
You're right. Yeah.
You didn't know that today was my birthday, so.
Really?
No, it's not. I'm just kidding. It's in March, but I was just trying to see if maybe you were like, you're lying, bro. Oh, nice. Yeah.
Man, I'm gonna come see you, Tommy. I want to come spend a day at your office.
You guys come
and sit down and talk with you, dude.
We make time, and this is what it's all about. Go hang out. If there's one thing I can tell you guys, the ultimate goal of life is find the dad or the husband you want to be and spend some time with them. Find the business you want to be like. And that might not be the first or second, because some people aren't open to it, but most people are when they hit a certain size. And a lot of people, I don't mean to talk over people's heads sometimes, but I'm looking at deeper things, because you got to be good at the first 5 KPIs before you want to go any deeper. But I'm looking at trends. I'm analyzing people's behavior. I'm looking at things that is not even going to happen yet, like cars that drive themselves, the life cycle of a garage door, things that I really think about, and I'm like, but I've got a disease. I don't know. It's called ADHD, obviously, but hopefully I'm channeling it in some ways and putting it towards good stuff. So
I just think you're a kick-ass entrepreneur, man. And
Yeah, for sure.
And you might like shiny objects. I'm not sure.
You
But
know
I'm
what? Here's the deal with
assuming
shiny
that
objects.
What's that?
The power to say yes is so much easier than the power to say no. And if you can learn to say no. So here's the deal. Listen to this. I'm stealing this from today's podcast because I had the blue fishing Steve Sims. But he said, entrepreneurs hate to say no because we see money everywhere.
Yes.
So if you analyze it and you say, no, not really. No, not now. Or you basically yes, but later. Yes, but not now. Or hell yes. And hell yes means this is easy. I could implement this into my life. Yes, but not now is, hey, I'll think about it. Yes, but I got a few other guys that might be interested. But the deal is, when I learned to say no, I had somebody text me yesterday with an amazing opportunity that I could have definitely added 6 figures a year to my income. But I'm like, nope, sorry, but I got a couple people in mind. And that is the power to get to 100 or 200 or 500 million, is when you could stay focused and say no and not let the shiny objects. Because, man, when I could keep the shiny objects working on the business, and I have a lot of those, because I'm like, here's what I want. I want, when my guys finish in Service Titan, that it pulls out a Service Titan, tags the customer with a before and after, shoots a video onto Facebook and hits the customer up again, goes on to my feed, which is 5,000 people, posts on all the groups in there, posts on Vimeo, tags our company's website, hits the website into our auto funnel on the WordPress site, also goes to the house, also goes to my LinkedIn profile, and that's before the customer even has to touch anything. That's what we're creating, because I have an unlimited ideas on how to make this work on the software. I'm automating the whole process that I don't have to touch anything, as long as they take good pictures. So there's somebody that actually rates the pictures, and if it's good, it happens. If it's bad, they get a no phone call and say, dude, we're paying attention, and they don't do it again. So we inspect what we expect, and we create processes that decrease human behavior, because humans make mistakes. For the most part, I've had one software that made mistakes, but for the most part, software doesn't.
I like that. Inspect.
Yeah.
Where we inspect. I like that.
Yeah, that's absolutely.
Well, real fast, Kelly, for you.
What do you got?
And we actually do have a little bit of time, because we started right at.
We have 7-10
10
minutes, and I'm not in a rush, guys. So you guys could do it,
Yeah. So I wanted to ask for people out there. I mean, I think you've kind of already answered this in a roundabout way. So what is harder, going from 1 million to 10 or 50 to 100 million?
Oh, by far, just 1 million, getting over, not even 1 million. It's getting that first 10 employees, because what you got to do is learn to hire people stuff that you're not good at, and stuff that you've had to become proficient at. So to let go of control. I don't open my own mail. I don't open my own email. And trust me, I've been screwed over left, right, and in the middle. But the difference is I've learned to trust people. And I've learned to, like I said, inspect what I expect. But until you can start delegating properly, but getting that first employee, here's what I hear all the time. This is I could do it better. I know I could do a lot of jobs better, but I'm sacrificing a couple percentage or margin points on my booking rate or whatever it might be, because I can't scale me. There's time, money, and focus, okay? I could pay money. I got money. I've got time because I've delegated well. But the focus and energy that I could put into a day, I need to really figure out where that's going to go. Because if you guys are going to put it into one-on-one training, then you're leaving your whole company behind. But you know what I will do? I'll train 5 of my field supervisors for an hour, because they could get it out to 25 techs. So you really got to think about, where is my energy? And obviously you could see I could put a few more hours of energy into stuff, because I'm not married, I don't have kids, and I've got a lot of energy. But it's channeled energy, right? It's not. How many people go to work and they go, shit, I know I was busy today, but I got nothing done. Yeah. So we say every morning, we say, what's the one big thing? What's one thing you're going to crank off your list? What's the big thing that you're going to make an impact on this business? Just one thing. But it's got to be a big thing. It can't be like, well, I went out and put out that fire of, that house on Mulberry Street. They were really mad. Well, you're a manager. That's not one good thing. That's called working in your business, not working on your business. So let's talk about the one big thing you're going to get done. And everybody that's listening to this should think about, I need one big thing, but it can't be. A lot of people go, that big thing's going to take an hour to do or 2 hours. I'm going to get all the small stuff done first. And then what happens? Boom, the whole week goes by and they go, oh, I still didn't get to that. And they'll never grow their business. And they wonder why I never have time to work on that stuff. Well, you didn't have time to work on it because you were supposed to hire somebody this week, but you haven't gone through any of the applications or interviewed anybody, which is going to make your life a lot easier, right? Right? So we think, okay, so do that.
Yeah.
I hope a lot of people are shaking their heads out there going, yeah, that makes sense.
No, I'm sure they are. So how do you, your productivity, like when you get in and you sit down and you're focused on something, like how do you, I know your time is structured, but like, do you have time blocks?
Yeah. So you got to use a calendar well, but we use a Trello board, which Al helped me learn this too. And I've got a lot of consulting that I pay for and do. But
sure.
What you do is you build a project board of what needs to get done, and you separate everything into projects, and then you rate those projects. Which ones are you going to do? Which ones are the teams going to do? What are the deadlines? Because without deadlines, we have nothing. Right. And you have good meetings. And I have a lot of brainstorming meetings, and then we have a call to action at the end, and we will get things done. What is going to be handled within this meeting, and how do we hit these dates? But what's so funny is I walk through this building, and I'm like, why didn't the stickers get taken off the windows? The stupidest stuff. But I'm like, and we've got great leaders, but it's those little things for me. I'm like, we're going to have people walking through here all the time. And
right.
What this means to me. Yet this morning I had a meeting with my CSR manager and I had a couple of my CSR supervisors, and we were in the kitchen, and I said, we clean these. We've got a whole lean list of all the chores that get done, but half the time I walk in here, the tables aren't clean. And they said, but they're always clean in the morning because we cleaned at the end of the day. And I said, here's my biggest problem. When I get done eating, whether I'm at McDonald's, my dinner table, or in my break room, I don't leave a mess. Who leaves crumbs all over? Don't talk to me about insects when you're going to leave crumbs. Like, I have respect for where I work. I flush the toilet. If there's something on the ground, I pick it up. That's just what we should do. What do I have to do to make people try a little harder or respect where they're at? And they're like, we're on it, boss. And I said, I don't want to convince people to. I just want them to respect one another enough that we'll just, if we see a wrapper, we'll pick it up. If we see a sticker on the wall, we'll just peel it off, whatever. But I can't teach people. But then I look at some of these people and I'm like, what's their hygiene level? I see their cars now, and it's call center. That's probably the toughest thing, because sometimes that's a hard position. But I'm like, man, if you see a guy that's just a chimney and they come over and they do an interview, I like to walk them out to their car. I love to walk when I interview somebody, get them to their car, and I look at it, and I'm like, I even try to sneak in a look inside. I'm like, oh, hey, by the way, are you? Yeah. Then they open it up. Then I can smell it. I'm a freak. But you get that stuff, man. I'm telling you, these little things, the little subtleties. If that thing is a pigsty and it looks like it's never been cleaned, how are they going to treat your trucks or your customer?
Yep.
Yeah. It's funny because I smoke. I don't smoke in my cars. I don't smoke in my truck. Just for that reason. And normally, when you smoke, you're going to smell. So I try to do it in certain ways that I know it's not going to be as bad, because guys think, oh, I'm just going to hose myself down. But then you walk in smelling like a French whore. And that's even worse when you walk in smelling like an Axe bottle. You know what I mean? So there's got to be ways. So I definitely have limited it, because that's a big thing. Smoking is like the Antichrist now. And
well, let's say like a facial tattoo, there's just things you got to get over. And I don't mind if you smoke. And that's actually something you could ask people, do you smoke? And you could refrain from hiring because of that. But look, we live in a blue collar industry, and I don't mind if you have a cigarette. I have a lot of guys that have a cigarette here and there, especially when they drink. And that's understandable. And I have some guys that smoke weed because they got their card. And I'm like, you never show up to my customer's house high. I don't care if you smoked the night before and it helps you sleep or whatever you tell me. I don't care. But that's something I can't really do anything against. It's legal. It's a prescription. I have this thing here. This just says, I'll just tell you, 1,000 businesses start. 400 of them are still going to the end at the end of year 3. So 400 of them are still going. Less than 100 of them will get past 7 figures. And only 8 of them, 8 out of 1,000 will get to 8 figures. Nearly all of them have closed after 5 years. So a lot of people listening to the show, it's not for the faint of heart. Just because you're a great technician doesn't mean you know how to run a business. And most of us that got into this business were great technicians, and we thought we could run a business and do the accounting and do all the permissions to, the city and the state and pulling permits and CSR. And the problem is it's not that easy. And a lot of people go out and start on their own, and they're in debt after 5 years and go back to the same job they left. But when they were in that job for 5 years, they realized, I bought myself a really, really hard job. I've sacrificed relationships. I lost my life savings. I got into credit card debt. I owe the IRS money, and I have nothing to show for it. So what I would warn people, because there's way too many technicians out there that became owners, and we don't have a lack of good employees out there. We've got an abundance of too many owners that shouldn't be. And I'm not discrediting anybody from going on their own or continuing to stay in business, but I will warn you, you're going to give up relationships. You're going to give up a lot of time, and you got to be tenacious. And it's not like, oh, I'll just do this because I see all this money, because a lot of people fail all the time. And I think it's important to not sugarcoat it and not lie to people.
That's why I always tell people a story about when I went on my own and it failed. And I chose the wrong people to go in business with. There was a lot of other aspects, but it failed. And I make sure I tell people that, because it's not all, rainbows and sunshine. And you don't hear about those stories. All you hear is, oh, hey, so-and-so went out and now he's doing 100 million or he's doing 50 million. Oh, yay. But you don't hear about the guys, hey, I went out and I failed, man. Yeah. I'm still here. I'm still kicking. You know what I mean? You can get through it. I was able to make it out pretty unscathed as far as financially. I mean, yeah, some things sucked, but I made it. I'm still, you can survive it, but yeah, I mean, people need to hear that, they definitely do.
Yeah, it's important.
Yeah. Oh, it 100% it's not for everybody. I went through it. I started with just a $10,000 loan from my dad, but by year 5, IRS trouble, pile of IRS letters this high. And it was like,
I'm not laughing at you. I'm just saying it's out there.
No, but everything you just said about lost my wife. But we were able to make through it, and we just celebrated our 23rd anniversary, so we're still married. But it was tough, and we're on year 11, so I'm beating statistics, and we are becoming successful. But I want to take it like to a whole nother level, man. So
I mean, I got a master's degree in business, and I would still say I probably shouldn't have started when I did. And the master's degree in business means diddly squat compared to learning about relationships with people. I think if you could create relationships, man, I have more people that come to my cell phone a day and say, I need a garage door. You don't even know. People hear my podcast. They hear different things. They're like, dude, that's the guy I want to fix my stuff, because he cares. He's not talking sales, high numbers. You get that customer, you take them, you rip them apart, and you give it to them. No, you fix it right. You take care of people. And when I hear my guys saying, man, I got this lady good, I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, no. I'm like, you know what? What did you do? You sold her parts she needed. And if you ever take advantage of one of my customers, you're gone. You're gone in a freaking heartbeat. I don't mind you selling what parts they need, or replacing certain parts and making sure it doesn't break, because we look like crap if it breaks within the next 2 years. But if you take advantage, lie, cheat, or steal, you're gone like that. You do not lie, cheat, or steal. We teach them to build rapport and educate our customers and make sure we follow up. but we don't teach them any of that crap. And I hear HVAC, plumbing, electrical, roofing, landscaping, garages. These guys, they're born and raised to lie, cheat, and steal to make a living. And we created a system that you don't have to do that. You know, get good referrals. You'll make money on those. Get good reviews. You make money on those. You know, sell people parts they need. You make money on that. Go find people to come work for our company. We'll give you some of that. Sell service agreements because, you know what, it's better for the customer to get that looked at once a year. They've got kids. They've got 28 points of failure on their door. I believe in this stuff. It's $10 a month. So be honest and treat people right, and you'll find that your business will grow. Don't do that. You're waiting for it to come back tenfold. And if you take advantage of that one employee or that one customer, you're going to get a letter from the attorney general one day or some bull crap and say, oh my gosh, I never look back and say, who's behind me coming after me? I don't have to. Yeah. I always think about how am I going to grow my business forward, but I don't have to look behind me either. Because, you know, I build bridges. I don't break them.
Amen. Amen.
100%. 100%. That's how we operate too.
Yeah.
Any employee that we've had, like, I'm still friends with them today, and I guarantee you that they'll say that Kelly was a good boss. You know, I would hope that they would say that. So, and I care about these guys. But anyhow, and the customers too, man. We've been over backwards and wrote, you know, $14,000 check back to somebody because we couldn't make him happy. But we want to do the right thing and make you happy. And if that's what it takes to make you happy, that's what we're going to do. So we've done all that stuff. It's just taking it to the next damn level. You know, it's
well, you're getting there.
Oh yeah, I know it's going to happen. But if there was one thing that you could tell us that it is like a game changer in the realm of marketing, and I know it's not just one thing, man, but in the realm of marketing, which is I know this is what you're good at, like what, like a particular source. Where would you put
it? This is the gold.
All right.
If you guys didn't hear anything else, this is it. I'm telling you right now. 100%, 1,000%. I've worked with so many businesses. You're not investing in SEO and you've got the wrong pay-per-click guy. That's what's going on, because here's the deal. I could turn on, Joe Cunningham was in town. He goes, dude, I just switched my PPC guy. I've got a half a budget of what I used to have, and I'm getting 3 times the leads. They never build up their organic. They never get reviews. They never figure out. It's so simple. You get some links. You hire a company to get links. You put a blog post up. You get the reviews coming in. That's automated through a thing called Bird Eye. And then you set up a good campaign that builds trust, and you've got a WordPress that shows up good on mobile. We're not talking about a $10,000 thing here. And guess what? You've got an unlimited supply of customers, and that's the real deal Holyfield. And if you're not charging your customers enough, you can't pay for anything. You can't pay for Valpak, Yellow Pages. You can't pay your guys to put stickers. You need to charge the customer the right amount of money. But Google is God. 70% of all services are found online. 70% of that's Google. That's 50% of your focus when it comes to marketing. And if you're not doing that, and if you think you're good and everything's okay, you're full of that. You're full of it. That's all I got. Yeah. Everybody now should second guess and at least get one quote from their insurance broker. They should have 2 SEO and PPC guys once every 6 months. Look at their campaigns, see what they would do differently, make sure they're not getting taken. And if they do, build a second campaign at cost and say, prove yourself to me. Everybody should go second guess their trucks they're buying, their gas cards, what their cash back is, their credit cards. Make sure they're getting – I just renegotiated – I shouldn't say this, but with Service Titan on my credit card fee. I always am negotiating. I'm always saying no matter what, when I sign you on today, just so you know in 6 months I'm getting a second quote. How many of you guys are listening right now and have never second-guessed your payroll company, and they're taking – it's ADP because, man, they are taking you guys to the bank. I'm telling you, second-guess everything, get new quotes all the time, because otherwise workman's comp, I saved $80,000 this year. I was miscategorized. They find a way to knock it down. I've been paying less than I was 5 years ago. So that's my best advice is literally it's all about Google. Google's God when it comes to this stuff. Some people, and another thing that I would say about marketing is don't forget about your last customers. I mean, they're your bread and butter. You should be reaching out, automate it, send out something funny. Like, you probably didn't know this, but we named your air conditioning unit Chip, and it's Chip's first birthday today. And he would really like to be looked at and made sure he's working correctly, lubricated, adjusted. And because it's his first birthday, we got this special price for you. Customers, they'll laugh and they'll go, oh, we probably should. It's a hot summer, blah, 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 blah. But remember your last customers and focus on Google. You'll double your business without doing anything else.
Gotcha.
That's gold. That's gold.
Absolute gold.
Well, we are hitting that time. But, Tommy, I would love for – because me and Kelly have been doing this for a year and we talk almost all the time, but we never actually met in person. So,
oh, nice.
Yeah. So I want to go out there, and I don't know how far is Phoenix from where you are.
From me,
obviously in Phoenix.
I don't know. I'd fly. We'd fly.
It's a 2.5 hour flight tops.
Yeah.
I was gonna say we should come out there and then go see Tommy. Come out there and we could shoot some videos and show people. And I'd love to see the complex.
Yeah, and I could get you
100%.
to sit down with Parker and Sons. They're going to do 115 million. I'm good friends with the owners of George Brazil. I mean, look, you go on a trip like this. You spend 3 days. You meet a lot of people. You do a few lunches. You get to see what real heat is all about, Arizona. But yeah, this is what it's all about, guys. If you guys could come here, we'll make a trip out of it for you guys. You'll see some cool things, and I could line you guys up some real crazy shit. You better bring notebooks, cameras, anything you could, because there's going to be so much learning that happens. You're just going to be like, oh my God, this is ridiculous. And it's not all from here. It's the contacts that we've built with these connections here. So
That's
you
crazy.
Totally do it. I would love to have you.
Well, Parker and Son, we did that interview. That was reviewed.
Josh Kelley. Josh
with Review Kangaroo. He's a buddy of mine. Yeah, Paul Kelly. Josh and Paul. Well, it's Paul's, but Kelly, it's Josh.
Right.
Their family.
Yeah, no.
Josh is the man. He's a smart dude. He, God, he's super intelligent. He's a good speaker. Amazing people in Phoenix. I'll tell you what. There's just an amazing amount of people. There's a lot of coaches out here. We could introduce you to Al Levy. We've got, Ken Goodrich. Gettle. I mean, I know all these guys.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, we need to make that happen because I know we're going to go to our AHR this year in February. So we need to get out and do some of the stuff. It's fun. I mean, it's a good time to get away, to be able to give content and advice to the listeners and the viewers, but it's also good for us to learn, to be able to pass that information on, just to meet different people, like you said, contacts and learn, because we both know that we still have a lot of shit to learn. We just try to tell some of the small shit that we did wrong for them not to do. And if we can try to give them some tips to help, then hey, we're all for it. But we're definitely not the end all be all. So I mean, we have a lot to learn. We're still learning a lot.
And well, I could do this all night, but when you go meet these people, you don't say, what did you used to think when you were my size? I don't do that. Say, what would you do to take an express railroad in 1 year to get to where you are now? And they'll tell you, because I'm more thinking about what do they think now. Of course, they got this great story, what they did, but I'd say, I wouldn't do this, I wouldn't do this, I wouldn't do this. But more importantly, this is what I would do. This is how I'd fast track it. First of all, that Google stuff that I told you guys is a fast track. The number 2 way is to recruit the right people and create systems. The number 3 is to make sure you're working on a 3 CRM to do checks and balances. But this is all, I always talk about integratable things quickly. Like you guys heard, I gave you guys a lot of tidbits and details on how to make it happen. But ask these people, and the smartest thing you could do, I've got a shit ton of journals sitting back there, is when you show up, not to me, because I could care less about myself, but keep your head down and go like this. Oh my God. Yes, more, yes. Because now they're going, geez, this guy's cool.
That's what I've been doing this whole interview.
Yeah. I'm always writing stuff down. That's why I started to point the camera up.
I showed up to people and they're like, dude, you actually brought a journal? Like, who does that? And I'm like, me. Yeah. And I'm like, trust me, I'm probably going to have a lot of notes here. The question is, how do I get those notes onto somewhere that I can make them actionable? Because even when you take notes at church, I look around my church, and I don't go every Sunday, But I'm looking at these people and they're like, oh, yeah. Ooh. I'm like, what do? You take home that thing? And what do you, the stuff's in the Bible. But what are you going to do to that? Just say, like, they've got, stacks of them? Those end up in the garbage, but they take them with them. They stuff them in their Bibles. And I'm like, you wrote a bunch of doodles on there that you're never going to do anything with. So taking the notes and making them on your calendar and making them implementable and integratable into your company is how to make shit happen quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. For sure. Damn, man, I hate to see this end, man.
You got me pumped up. Shit, man.
Great. I'm going to go wake my wife. I'm going to smack my wife on the ass and tell her to get
Bam!
up.
Yeah.
We need to talk, baby. Let's go. There's shit to talk about. And Tommy said to do it with a smile on my face.
Right.
You guys are falling asleep. It's later over your head. I'm just like, it's only 7:50, man. The night is but a fetus for me.
Yep.
Oh yeah, it's 10:50 here, but I'm always out up late and up early. Five normally go to bed at like midnight 1 and I'm up at 5:30. So I can sleep when I'm dead.
That's right.
So
enjoy the journey too, guys. Look, you guys got good businesses going you're working on, and everybody's like, they enjoy the ride. Some people think get to this destination, but you got to enjoy the ride going there. I was talking to this guy today and he goes, are you enjoying the ride? I go, man, I skip into work in the morning on Mondays. I go on vacations. I'm wealthy. I'm not rich. I'm wealthy because I have friends I could go have a beer with tonight if I want. I'm wealthy because I have people all around me that care about me. I have family members that are around. But more importantly, when it comes to money, I'm wealthy because I never think about the bill and count how many people I just bought shots or count the dinners and go, oh shit, did you just order that filet? I never have to do that. That's what I consider wealth, is not having to pick and choose and go, oh, well, we can't go on that trip. That's out of our budget. Because that's my goal to aspire to do what I want, when I want, with who I want, and make sure I'm doing that along the ride. Because if you don't do that along the ride, it passes you up, and one day you go, where did this go? Mm-hmm. And it happens so fast. So remember, the journey is supposed to be the fun part. The destination is cool, but I don't think I'll ever get to a destination because this journey is too fun, the whole ride there. So.
Yeah, it's funny you said that. I heard somebody say that. They're like, I don't want to be rich. They're like, yeah, having money is rich and that's great. Like, I want to be wealthy because being wealthy is time.
Right. And it's always making
time
when I'm sleeping, everything I'm doing is making money, but money is a tool. But a lot of times, and I'm not the best, don't get me wrong, guys. It's not like I've got all these close people. It's kind of like my direct 5 of everything. Like if you've got 100 close people, you can't be close. That's like saying, man, I'm close to 5,000 Facebook friends. Oh, you're not. It's like, yeah, I've the acquaintances, but the most part for me is like, I've got people I could call, man, if I barbecue and I know they'll come, we'll have a good time. We laugh together. That I could tell them jokes. And then I've got another set of people that I could talk business. And they're almost like 2 separate people because sometimes they're like, oh, my God, that's all you want to do is talk about business. I'm like, yeah. But I realize you're not the person because it goes. So then I'm like, what do you want to talk about? Oh, okay. Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about.
Totally.
I totally do. That's why you guys started a podcast to talk about business. So,
yes.
Very cool.
Yes, this has been great. To the listeners out there, this has been gold. If you guys aren't writing this down and listening to this, then you need to smack yourself in the nuts because you just wasted an hour of valuable information. I mean, really, seriously, I can't stress that enough. So I'll let Kelly get ready to go ahead and start closing this out. But thank you so much, Tommy, for coming on. This has been awesome. I definitely want to stay in touch with you and try to set that up or even just being in contact. I really
Absolutely. Anytime, man. Absolutely.
I genuinely, honestly was really excited about this interview because I wanted to meet you because I know you're fierce, man. I know you're fierce because there's no way that you'd be able to take what you started with and be where you are right now with even plans to go even higher without a lot of ambition, a lot of drive. And so, man, and you didn't disappoint. I've got tons of notes and I'm really grateful for the invite. So I greatly appreciate that. I just want to tell you that, and I really appreciate and just want to let you know how much it means to us and to our listeners of all the little nuggets you gave. I mean, not nuggets, like big, huge chunks of nuggets that you gave tonight, because I know you touched on so much shit, man, that it's like, if we could just take a fraction of this, it's going to make a huge difference in everyone's businesses. So thank you, man. Thanks for coming on, and it's been great. So, and,
Hey,
we are going to take you up on that. I'm coming out to see you, man.
Well, yeah,
So,
right. We'll put a date in the calendar this week or next week, whenever.
real fast before you close it out. And Tommy, you might not even remember this, but I told Kelly and we were laughing. One of your live streams one time, and I had never really like met you. Well, I had commented something, and like you actually said like, "What's up, Gil?" And I was like, and then like you didn't shout out a couple other people, and I told Kelly, I was like, Tommy called me out on his live stream. What?
Yeah.
Felt like I was hot shit there.
I have fun, guys. I got to tell you, it's good to help people, and the people that want it the most. That's the cool thing. Is I just had and I'm not doing this to get one last thing, but I listened to my own Audible because I just got it. I had the recording, but I didn't want to pay Audible, so I listened to the book, and I'm like, oh my god, I forgot that I used to do that. That's awesome, and that's a great tip. And I was like I run everybody through their Yelp. I search their email on Yelp, and if it's all bad reviews, I'm like, I know they're a negative Nancy. So I think the Audible came out really good. If you listen to it the speed I did, you'd probably hear Spanish. But the Audible version's much better. I think it's better. It's better done than the book because it's actually my intensity and stuff like that.
Nice. I'll get it for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, guys, thanks for having me on. I truly appreciate it, and I wish you guys the best of luck. And when you're out here, we're going to have a blast.
Awesome.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Thanks so much, Tommy. Appreciate it.
I'll let you close out with all your vocals.
Yeah. Thanks everybody for listening. We love you guys. Be sure to subscribe, share, tell your friends, family, neighbors, coworkers about this. Leave us a review, guys. Whatever podcast app you're using, go leave us a review. But I'll let Gil go ahead and close it out for final. But whatever you do, go make money.
Yeah, guys, definitely. Thanks for listening, man. We always appreciate all of you. Without you guys, we wouldn't be here. Like Kelly said, leave a review on whatever app you're doing. When you leave that review and you like it and you're subscribed, that just tells that app that we're relevant. That's going to keep pushing us to the top. And we are actually at the top in quite a few of the podcast apps, and that's great. So we want to keep it that way. So keep that going, guys. Also, with the YouTube channel, make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell with the content coming out. And that's the same thing. As you like that, it's going to keep getting our content out to more and more people. So, guys, as always, we love you. Go out there, man. Be safe. Always make it home the same way you left. Go out there and kill it, man. Be a fucking rock star. Do what the next guy's not doing, all right? Nobody can make your life better but you. Okay, so grab it by the balls, do what you got to do, and knock that shit out of the park. So until next week, we'll talk with you mofos later, man. Peace.
Peace.
Thanks for listening to the HVAC Uncensored podcast. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook and Instagram, or email us anytime at hvacuncensored@gmail.com. Now, get back to work. Shut this down. The views and opinions shared on the HVAC Uncensored podcast may not necessarily be the views and opinions of our sponsors or guests.
All right.